Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Don't Risk It podcast presented by VFIS Client Risk Solutions. This program focuses on the exposures our clients frequently encounter and discusses some potential solutions to help reduce these exposures. I'm your host, Chris Rodgers with VFIS Client Risk Solutions, and today we're discussing citizen fire academies and emergency services. Joining me on the program today is Fire Chief Dan Hoff from York Area United Fire and Rescue, commonly referred to as YAUFR. Chief Hoff is joining us today to discuss the origins of YAUFR's Citizens Fire Academy and some of the details as to why they started this community outreach program. Chief Hoff, it's great to have you on the program today, and I really appreciate your time this afternoon.
I really appreciate the opportunity to talk about the good work our department does, particularly in this case, the Citizens Fire Academy. So I thank you for taking the time to speak with me.
Absolutely, can't wait to dive into the topic here. So before we get into the Citizens Fire Academy, can you give the listeners, that kind of outside of the York, Pennsylvania area, a quick overview of your department's operations and some of the things that y'all do?
I'd be glad to. Our department was established in 2008 as the first regional department, the first regional combination department in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We were initially comprised of the fire departments from Spring Garden Township and Springersbury Township in York County. And then in 2018, we officially added Manchester Township as our third charter township, so that we now serve three of the busiest townships in York County, I believe, and we cover a square mileage of just shy of 39. I think it's 39.3 square miles that we serve. Permanent population right around 60,000 residents. Our department operates out of 5 staff stations, 2 in Springersbury, 2 in Spring Garden Township, and currently 1 in Manchester Township. We also have a volunteer station that we get some good support out of in Manchester Township as well. We have 51 total firefighters at this time, 6 command staff, and 2 terrific administrative professionals that keep this thing running every day. From a call volume, probably 40% or better is EMS or fire alarms for our organization. We serve some pretty busy traffic areas in Interstate 83 and Route 30 that runs through several of our townships, and we provide mutual aid to 2 county hospitals and protect a good number of county infrastructures, such as the county 911 centers, the county prison, the county juvenile detention center, the York Post Office. So we stay pretty busy with our responses and the services we provide. About 5,000 calls total is what we handled in 2024.
I was going to say, based on all the things you just listed, there's a lot of moving parts in your organization. That's a relatively young organization. So, why did you all feel the need to add more to the plate by starting a Citizens Fire Academy in your department?
Well, we recognize that public education, or the more common term that you hear nowadays, is community risk reduction. That's really where our focus needs to be, and interact with our community, and we're always looking for new and better ways to do that. And initially this project, the Citizens Fire Academy, was actually put together, I want to say maybe 2017, 2018 time. I guess it was 2017 that we put this together, actually with assistance from Volunteer Firemen's Insurance. And initially it was started as an effort to educate new VFIS employees that were not already involved in ESOs and emergency response, so that they essentially could speak the language as they dealt with their customers. And it was one of those deals where we put this together, we got it organized, and then we opened it up to the public as well, just to try to get some public involvement and And the first couple times we did it, it was kind of that mix of VFIS employees and the public, and it worked very well for us. And but it's just another one of our efforts to try to make sure that we're being as responsive and as engaged with the community as we possibly can be.
So was that the primary goal in developing this academy? Was it education side, or was there also the component of, because we talked about you're a relatively young organization, to get your name out there and do some essentially public education on letting them know who you all are?
Yeah, I mean, our initial emphasis was really on building an awareness for the job that emergency responders perform, and hopefully recruit some potential staff, whether it would be people looking for a change in career or people just looking for the volunteer contribution. Which we're always looking for good people no matter what. Um, and a lot of our efforts in fire prevention and public education are geared towards the younger age groups, and school visits and you know things like that. We never get to interact usually with the parents of these kids,
Right.
and so this was an opportunity for us to hit another demographic, if you will. And even when we get visits to the firehouse, like a Cub Scout group or a Girl Scout group, we get a few parents there that we can hopefully kind of do our own little presentation to the adults while the kids are being focused on the other stuff. But this was an opportunity that maybe the parents could really just focus on their awareness and their curiosity about essentially what it takes to be an emergency responder, what it takes to operate a fire department. And for VFIS and their involvement in the program initially, it was really, like I said, it was to help new employees understand and speak that language, so that it would help them have a stronger presence with the emergency services community. Anytime we deal with people from that aren't part of the organization, it always helps if they have an understanding of the things and the jargon that we're using.
Oh, absolutely. I come from the insurance and safety background, and so I had to uh, learn the emergency services. I don't want to say I know everything about it, but I was kind of one of those people that needed to need some some knowledge gained, so I could go in there and understand that jargon and not sound like a fish out of water when I'm talking to professionals about about safety things. That kind of helps when you're speaking the same language and you don't feel like you're confused the whole time. So I
Yeah,
think that's very beneficial.
and this is um, in recent years we've tried to focus more on attracting the public, because we also do a program annually with Volunteer Firemen's Insurance at the local county fire school, where they bring their new employees uh, to learn all about things. And since the county fire school sits in our primary service area, every year we join with VFIS to get your new employees educated and get them a taste of fire, EMS, and rescue. So we have a very long-standing history of partnering with VFIS, and it's been rewarding for both organizations, definitely.
Yeah, definitely mutually beneficial, and we appreciate all the knowledge you've imparted on to a large number of associates in our organization, because there's a lot of us, myself included, that needed some of that knowledge base just to like we said, a lot of us know the insurance piece of it, but there's emergency services is very nuanced, and so to spread that knowledge was
Sure.
very awesome, and we appreciate that. So you mentioned that the academy started, I believe, in 2017. How many academies have you all held, and what's a typical class size?
Well, that's a really good question. We started this in 2017 with Ryan Peach when he was the director of education and training, and he had a great idea. We were so grateful that he contacted us and gave us the opportunity to get on board with it. In our first class, like I said, we may only had one or two members of the community. The rest were staff from Volunteer Firemen's Insurance. And in 17 and 18, we had pretty good numbers. I want to say 10 to 12 maybe total. Seems to stick in my head, and then
we had the COVID break.
One of these days maybe we'll be able to tell a story without mentioning the pandemic.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. But yeah, the pandemic hit, and then we had to take that break, obviously. And I'll be honest, it's been difficult to get this thing rolling again since the pandemic, and we've tried a couple different approaches. Scheduling's one that it just seems like once we no longer had that captive audience of VFIS employees, it's tough to get people to fit it into their schedules. So one of the things that we're now looking at doing is, instead of making this a multi-day or multi-evening event like it had been in the past, it looks like this year we're probably going to try to change it and maybe just try to make it a one-day event. And if we can get some success with that, then maybe instead of just making it a once a year event, maybe offer it a couple more times a year to try to regain that interest. But we've run it with as few as 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
And the reviews, the feedback that we get from the people that have gone through it have always been super. They valued the experience. They enjoyed the exposure to our staff and the things that they learned. But I just think we have society's changed a little bit, and people only have so much disposable time that they're willing to give up, and we just need to find a way to really maximize their benefit in a short amount of time, and find that kind of that magic schedule that people can get behind. And we just yesterday we were meeting with a group about sponsorship of some of our community outreach. And one of the people in the meeting actually just made a terrific suggestion about our Citizens Academy, and it was, maybe instead of just trying to appeal to the adults in the community, to try to appeal as well to parents with teenage kids, because his point was, you got a lot of people out there, whether they're single parent homes or dual parent homes. When the kids get into those teenage years, a lot of times parents are looking for something to do with their children, to connect with them, and help with that bond. So that's definitely something that we want to take into consideration when we start advertising this year's program.
Well, it's good to hear that, not to go, harken back and go back to the pandemic, but it's good that didn't kill off the program. It's obviously, it's going to cause some modifications to the program, but it's awesome to hear that y'all were able to still keep it going, and you're just trying to figure out ways that it's going to function in this, in this new society, essentially, a new way that we're living.
I mean, what haven't we modified since the pandemic? We've all learned to adjust and keep moving, and we're just trying our best to keep this alive, because we do think there's value in it, and we think that even if we're not so lucky as to get anybody pursuing a new career, or even somebody that's pursuing volunteering, just the information that we can put out to the people. And so when they see things like what the fire department budget is, they have a better understanding of what goes into that budget, the costs and things of that nature. So we just want to keep it going and educate as many people as we can.
I'm sure there are a lot of people that are surprised simply at the fact that how much everything that you all have costs, as far as the portable equipment, the apparatus that you drive. I don't think that there's a public understanding that they see that aerial on the interstate that they're looking at a roughly $2 million piece of equipment or a vehicle. I think that's one of the jarring things that, at least from the class that I took in Plano, that the students didn't realize that how much money that emergency services costs.
Yeah, I mean, when we've had the opportunity throughout my career, like I said, when we do firehouse tours and things of that nature, and we have the opportunity to talk to the parents, kind of off to the side while the children are looking at all the trucks and things like that. A lot of times in the past, the parents would stand there and kind of just get glazed over, probably because they've been to the firehouse and seen the fire trucks a number of times. But when you start to engage with them and say, well, hey, let's talk about, what's important to you folks. We understand looking at fire trucks isn't important, but how much that stuff costs and what it means to you as a homeowner or a citizen. And we start talking about, just something as simple as what it takes to outfit one firefighter or outfit one engine company. And with uniforms and equipment and turnout gear and things of that nature. And, people are amazed. They have no idea of what it takes to outfit, like I said, even one engine, much less an entire department.
Yeah, for sure. One station, it costs you a lot of money for, like you said, outfitting, staffing, trucks, just
Yeah,
all that goes into it. So
absolutely.
as far as your class or your academy, because you did mention that you're going for some younger folks, is there an age requirement for your program?
No, not really. Again, it's targeted towards adults. And we currently also run we call it our youth safety camp, and that is available to students age 12 to 17. We run that every August, and it's for 2 weeks. And those students come in from all over York County, and in 2 days, or actually 4 total days, they're learning all about fire department operations, EMS. They walk out of here with their CPR and first aid certifications through the Red Cross.
Oh, nice.
We involve the local police department with some of the sessions. Our folks work with them on hose line advancements and vehicle rescue and some rope skills and we do fire behavior lessons with them. So we're catching that early teen to late teen group there. Now the challenge for us this year is, really for those kids to turn around and drag mom and dad back
Right.
the following month or so to go through the program. And that's really what we're hoping to accomplish this year. But, basically, again, it's geared to adults. All we ask is that they're in good enough physical condition to participate. And that's just so they can get maximum benefit from the program. But quite honestly, I mean, if we had somebody that came in here that had some limitations, we would make accommodations just so they can get as much benefit from the program as they did as possible. But we've haven't seen that yet. So far, everybody that's come through has been perfectly capable of participating in all the sessions and all the activities in the program.
It's nice to hear that you can make reasonable accommodations, though, for some folks that might have some limitation to not being able to do the whole program.
Well, none of us are getting any younger, and we all have some limitations, or we can expect to have some. So I think we need to be understanding of that and realize that that's still part of that demographic that we're trying to build an awareness with.
For sure. So, can you talk a little bit about some of the details of what you all do in the program? Like, is it strictly kind of an assembly where it's not a lecture, but where you're essentially teaching them in a classroom setting, or do you all do ride-alongs available, or is there an opportunity to drive an engine? We kind of these are all things that I've seen in different programs, so I didn't know kind of what the
Yeah.
nuts and bolts of yours is.
Well, our program is a very interactive program. They do spend some time in somewhat of a classroom setting, but more of their time is spent outside learning the hands-on skills of a firefighter. Like I said, they'll do they'll do hose line advancements. They'll do hose rolling. They're flowing water. We bring a vehicle in to headquarters, and they get an opportunity to experience the hydraulic rescue tools.
Nice.
They get an opportunity to climb that ladder truck.
That'll make your thighs hurt for about 4 days. I know from experience.
Yeah, no doubt. Uh, they don't get to drive fire trucks, uh, but you mentioned ride along programs for anybody that's over the age of 18. Our department does have a ride along program where somebody can come in, and obviously we have to put them through some sort of I don't mean background check or some scrutiny to make sure.
You have to vet them to some degree.
Yeah, really. But and they can come in and ride along on occasion. They can have their choice whether they want to ride along with a command officer or they want to ride along with the engine crew. But we do make that available to folks once they've been properly vetted. And we encourage people to take us up on that. Earlier today, I just gave an interview to local TV station regarding an issue, and I was really trying to talk to the interviewer and the cameraman that, hey, this is available. Come, we'd love to have you ride along with us. The more opportunity we have for people to see our people at work, I think that only strengthens our place in the community. But
So I mean, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, it sounds like you have a very kind of open door policy in your department. So do you feel that the academy and these other things that you just mentioned have had a positive impact on the perception of your organization in the community you serve?
I think they do. We have a full-time battalion chief that pretty much works as our public information officer, our fire prevention and public education outreach person, and he does a terrific job getting out into the community in the township parks when they have special events like concert and so on and so forth. He's out there trying to help build the awareness of our department and really who we are. Like I said, 2008 was when our regional department came together, and a lot of people, because if they don't need our service, they may not still recognize who we are. So, it's all about building our brand as well as just making sure that people understand what's available to them from the fire department and really listening to what they're telling us. Last year, one of the bits of feedback that we got from our community outreach program was a lot of people were asking about where they can go to have get CPR trained, and can we bring it to their church, or can we bring it to their senior group, or whatever the case might be. We just received a grant earlier this year. We're going to be training our staff as CPR instructors, and that grant actually included the costs for us to offer those programs to the public. So we just finished a strategic planning survey to find out what the community thinks. And, we really want to engage with our community and try to as much as possible, address the feedback that we're getting from them, and and at the same time continue with the programs like the Citizens Academy and our Youth Safety Camp that we've already put into place and have seen some relative success with.
So is this academy, is this truly a community outreach program, or have you kind of carved out a niche to use as part of your staff recruitment model?
I think it's both. You know, we on one hand, we want our citizens to understand the things that they see us do and the why behind it, and and like I said already, one of the biggest areas of awareness that we want to improve upon is a better understanding of the demand and costs for this service. Um, and you know, if we're lucky, if we're really fortunate, we're going to get one or so applicants in the or participants in the Citizens Fire Academy to have that spark ignited and say, you know what, this has been so much fun or so valuable. I really want to pursue it, either as a career or as a volunteer effort. And so we really try to, just like our safety camp, we're just not trying to provide parents an outlet for their children, for 2 weeks during the summer. We recognize that with the way society is today and how many distractions are out there for people, if we want them to consider a career in the fire service or volunteer participation in the fire service, we have to put ourselves out there. We have to get them while they're young, and if we're not going to get them while they're young, then we need to be able to put together programs that are going to entice people to come out and work with us. And so, yes, it's community outreach, and yes, it's staff recruitment at the same time.
Perfect, perfect. Anything that you can do to get the kids outside and away from a screen or a TV or a video game or something, I think that's a positive effort in your community. So, to kind of echo on that, can you provide an example of any success stories that you might have had from the program? I believe I heard at least one of the Citizens Academy participants was hired by the organization. Is that correct?
We have not hired anybody out of the Citizens Academy
Oh, I
yet.
was wrong. I apologize.
But no, that's perfectly okay. We have gained one volunteer for our EMA focus. As a regional department, we also serve as the regional emergency management agency for the 3 charter townships that we serve, and EMA is kind of its own animal, if you will, but largely the day-to-day operations that apply to EMA are conducted by members of our command staff. But we were very fortunate to get one volunteer for our emergency management agency that came out of the Citizens Academy. So
it was a win. It was a win. I was going to say it might not, maybe not the way that I described it, but it was a win for the academy.
Yeah, and we've been fortunate enough that several of the attendees of our youth safety camp are now actively engaged as either junior or senior members of the volunteer fire department in their home communities. So we've had success there, but
not everyone's going to college, and so and to show people at a young age that there's a career path that is rewarding. Also, it's there's a camaraderie aspect to it that especially if the kids play sports, that they might want to carry on into later into their life. So there's a lot of positive things that you can show them at a young age that'll carry on into when they get to be of age to come and maybe apply for your organization.
Exactly. I mean, when you take a look at those two programs, yes, we might have had to slow things down for one offering of the youth safety camp because of the pandemic, but that's bounced back, and we get a terrific response to that, where the Citizens Academy has suffered a little bit in interest, and like I said, we're going to make some changes to try to rejuvenate that. But just by pure numbers, it's not surprising that we've seen more involvement at the out of the safety camp, with people getting involved with their home fire department and such. It's not surprising at all, just based on how many people we've actually impacted.
Well, Chief, I applaud all your efforts that your organization is doing to get people in your area informed, and the younger generation possibly interested in becoming part of your organization or another organization. It's great what you're doing, getting that message out there, and I thank you for your time today and sharing that message with our listeners.
I thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I greatly appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, Chief, and have a great day. And I want to thank you for listening to the program and for your interest in VFIS safety resources. I want to thank our guest Fire Chief Dan Hoff once again for his time and information. Please consider subscribing to our program to stay up to date on new content releases. Also, if you like what you've heard, please consider leaving a review below. For more information about the many resources available from VFIS, please visit VFIS.com. And to submit ideas for future discussions, please reach out by emailing VFISriskcontrol@VFIS.com. Thanks, everyone, and have a great day. The views, information, or opinions expressed during this program are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of Gladfelter Insurance Group, VFIS, and its employees.